going? Santosh is again not here today, and I'll be running the stream. So I'm gonna give you all a minute to hop in, say hi, and then we'll start building something. So we'll keep the stream short again today, for multiple reasons, but one of them being we do want to complete the project that Santosh is building. So until then, what we're gonna do is we're simply going to build something simple like we did last time, like that news app that we were building. So I'm going to go ahead, ask our AI agent for some ideas and then build it accordingly. So I'm going to give you all a minute to hop in and then we'll get started. I am looking for my Claude to pop up until then and then we'll start right over. So have y'all been going through the new LLM agent wiki page yet? Let me drop that in chat because I was just reading that and I was like, that would be fun to make, but it will take a lot of time. So maybe not for like a live stream, but let me find it. Let me find the gist, and we should be go. All right. So this is the article that I'm talking about. It's a very cool article that one of the OGs in the AI World has published, and it talks about making your entire agentic context buildable essentially. So they are using Obsidian to do that. If y'all have never seen Obsidian, I'm happy to show that to y'all. But yeah, so the idea behind this, especially this article, is basically that, oh, ideally your context window and your memory or your entire knowledge base that you're referring to builds over time. And some of the good examples that Karpathy talks about is your life or a journal or a scrapbook and things like that. And the idea is that it doesn't just happen. It's not like a fixed knowledge base, right? And that's true for any product and the documentation of that as well, right? It's not a stringent thing. It keeps evolving over time. So you want your context window for your agent to evolve over time as well. And you know what? I think we should go through this article together. It's a very cool article. I've been reading it. I want to implement it soon as well. I've seen a lot of people implement it. I'm a little intimidated by it, I have to say. All right. I think this is the correct one. Let's talk about this, right? So I have been wanting to build this. So maybe what we can do is maybe we can try to build this out on Obsidian very quickly. But yeah, again, the core idea is that you don't want to limit it to the base that you're connecting it. You want the fragments to evolve over time and add up, right? Let's see some of the favorite examples. These are some good examples that Karpathy talks about. uh Personal, how you're evolving over time. Research, you go into it, you keep adding to the knowledge base and you keep drawing new conclusions as you add new knowledge base articles, right? Reading a book, a really cool example that he gives is the Tolkien Gateway, which is, by the way, a very very cool website that I recently discovered through this article, for all the Lord of the Rings fans. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go behind and I'm going to go ahead and open this in the new. Mm, there we go. Right. So this is basically a website built by Lord of the Rings fans, and this is supposed to be like again a collection of all the context that there is. And as right, I think we're connected. We're back. We're back. Awesome. So I don't know. I think for some reason I'm not visible, but that's okay. Let's continue. So the idea was that we are going to basically try to do this. So we were talking about indexing and logging. In case we missed it, I'm not sure if y'all could hear me. But essentially, what Kripati is saying is there are three layers to the architecture. You first want the raw sources, then you want the wiki, basically what is the things that are going to keep updating. And so let's say we take life, and then there are different aspects of your life. So the wiki is actually the different aspects, and the raw sources are what go into the different wikis. And then you have the schema for your agent to actually basically reference it, right? And then you have your ingestion layer entirely. I hope I'm still connected. Okay. So then we have the operations. Basically, how are you going to ingest it? How are you going to query it? How you're going to lint it? And how do you constantly keep it in check? Because the idea is, again, to make sure that you're updating it consistently, right? And then finally, we have the indexing and logging. um, how does your LLM navigate as the wiki grows, right? So what if there's a new concept or a new vertical, and this is the chronological, which is going to be appended every time there's a new entry into your wiki or into your entire knowledge base, right? And then these are the tips and tricks that I was talking about. This, I just got this. So this is the Obsidian Web Clicker. Basically, it helps you. I closed it. But basically, it helps you clip anything into your Obsidian, save it into your Obsidian. And yeah, so this is supposed to be a very cool thing. We can actually try to make this live. Thank you so much for confirming, likes blue. Really appreciate it. So we can try to build this real time. How many of y'all have used Obsidian? So let's go into Obsidian. So this is Obsidian. This is what why Obsidian works, because you can basically make this mental map of how things are connected. And yeah, let's try it. So I like this example of a travel plan. So let's start with that. Ooh, it's a very cool website. And then we have Canvas and stuff also. So I have not used Obsidian in a minute. So let's try to do that. Let me open Obsidian. So this is what Obsidian looks like. So let me add another screen. Mm, so this is my Obsidian, and I've never really used Obsidian. So let's try to use it first. I don't know if both my screens are visible. Yes, they are, hopefully. Anyway, so let's go back to our here, and let's try to look at travel plans, right? So do we have any suggestions for which country we want to make this for? I'm gonna give you all 30 seconds on the clock to send me suggestions about where we want to make this for the wiki for the travel content, and then we'll move on. So let me search for some interesting companies. Weird countries for travelers. Okay. Interesting. I very, very much like the suggestions. Turkmenistan, strangest country offer, considered the strangest. Its capital is a sprawling city of. Oh, yes, the horses. Turkmenistan is known for its white horses, in case you all aren't aware. I like Bhutan. Okay, I like Eritrea. I think we're gonna go for Eritrea until and unless y'all have any other suggestions. That is a great question, the code witcher. What we're trying to do is we are trying to basically build out the LLM wiki. Oh, I just realized y'all can't see the screen. So let me try to get that back up. Okay, let's try to get Nah, this is what I want. So what we're trying to do basically is we're trying to get this, the LLM wiki. I don't know what am I doing wrong. So let me try to remove and add the same thing. So sorry y'all. I've not tried to share multiple screens before, so I am trying to figure out how to do it without. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing altogether and see if I can share multiple screens. I cannot. But basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build this out. The LLM wiki that Karpathi recently posted, and it's been going viral. So we were just looking at some things like the Obsidian web clipper and all of that to basically make that real time. However, folks, please know that my internet's being very weird today. So in case I cut out, we will continue in the next session. But cool, let's go. So what we're going to be doing is we want to use Obsidian to do something of make basically a new entire code base. Not a code base, but like a knowledge base. And for that, we're using Obsidian. And the question I asked was we can do it for a travel plan. So let's try to create like an updated travel wiki. So I was asking if you all have any suggestions for me in terms of countries and all of that. So in case y'all can hear me, I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to answer if you all have a country. So I was just looking at some weird countries to travel to and things like that. So I like the idea of Eritrea and I love these two also. I've never heard of Tuvalu either. So let's see. Eritrea sounds lovely. It's like a tiny country in East Africa. Benin is interesting again because it is the birthplace of voodoo apparently. And then we have Tuvalu, which is apparently one of the least visited countries. And where is it located? It's located in the South Pacific. Let's see, there are no maps here, which is interesting, but cool. So this is what we're going to do. So if you all have suggestions, I like these three. I'm going to choose one out of these three for us. Chile. That is so funny you mentioned Chile. You want to do Chile? Let's do Chile. So we'll do Chile. So we'll make an obsidian for Chile. So the idea is first to create a bunch of. So okay, let's go through the layers again, right? So we have three layers. We first have the raw sources. So let's go ahead and create a bunch of raw sources. So we'll clip them all. Then we have to create a wiki. So comparisons, overviews. This we'll use our agent to generate. And then we have the schema. So then we'll use our agent to generate these two things. But let's go ahead and spend a few minutes collecting a bunch of raw sources, right? So let's go ahead and do it for a specific city also. So let me first open my Obsidian and name some things. All right, I think I lost my connection again, y'all, but all good. We will figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with some sources. I'm going to close all of these here, and for the folks who just joined, someone suggested Chile. So the code witcher has suggested Chile, and we're going to be using this to make our wiki. Sorry, the raw sources. So I like Wikipedia. Let's go to Wikipedia. And then what else do we like? I like this Britannica article. I like the travel advisories for Chile. No, we don't want the US. We love the World Heritage Convention stuff. Let's search for Chile food. So Chilean cuisine, love that. Typical Chilean dishes, love that. Chilean food top 100 dishes also sounds good. Alright, folks, give me 1 second. I'm going to rearrange my tabs to make space to share my whole screen because apparently sharing windows, it's not sharing all my windows. So Little annoying. I have my Claude open for us to later use it to generate our wiki and everything. And then let's take this out for a second and close this as well. All right, great. I'm ready to share my whole screen. So let's do that. Replace entire screen. There you go. All right, amazing. So we are gonna go back to our Obsidian. So let's go ahead. I don't really use Obsidian, so I'm gonna have to figure out how this works. I see that there is a bunch of stuff, so I'm just gonna go ahead and delete a lot of things. I don't even know how did all of this get created. So I'm just gonna go ahead, delete, delete, delete. No, wanted to delete that. Delete, 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 delete. Untitled base, untitled canvas. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete everything. Yeah, let the base be. Welcome and base sounds good. What is this? This is bookmarks. What was that? Editing. All right, great. So let's click on this. So that's a new note, and I think okay. All right, we'll figure one thing at a time. So graph view is this. I want to delete a bunch of different things. So that's fine. We'll do this in a second. Let's go back and start clipping our stuff. So I like this. I'm going to go ahead, open the Obsidian Web Clipper, and we can go ahead and add this to Obsidian. Open Obsidian. Love that. And it's going to all go in my clippings folder. So let's go back and clip some more. Love this. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip this. Add to Obsidian. Open Obsidian. Amazing. I should have two clippings now. We do. Great. This is great. So close, close, and then we have the travel advisory from Canada. This is Canada. I don't want the government's travel advisory. I want purely, as neutral articles as possible. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to also clip this. So there we go. And then we'll go ahead, open Obsidian. Then we have cuisine stuff. So clipper, add to Obsidian, open Obsidian. Lovely. I think we have four clippings now. Perfect. Let's go ahead, Chilean food, and I'm gonna clip this as well. Okay, I think I have enough for the time being. What do I do want to do is I want to do a little more specific stuff. So let's go ahead and search for Santiago. Mm, do you all have any other cities I should try for? We are currently just dogging MD files. My name's Ritvi, folks. I'm sorry my video's not on. My internet's being very weird. So the idea is we're following this. We're following this. So we're first connecting the raw sources. We'll then connect the LLM, and then we'll make the schema. So that is the idea. All right. So I was saying that I want to do something more specific to Santiago. So we were just looking at. I've kept this open because I might need to use this to see how to use Obsidian because I don't really know. I don't really use Obsidian. Santiago. So let's see if there is lovely. We'll open a bunch more clippings. So, ooh, how to spend a perfect day in Santiago. Interesting. Lovely. Okay. Let us go ahead and clip all of this. Add. Amazing. Do you all have any other cities we should focus on? Or any other nearby countries you all want to add to this? Mm, so lovely. Okay. I have a bunch of random stuff that I've saved now. I should really close the stuff that I have saved so that I'm not confused. So let me go ahead and close all of this because I've already saved it. So now we have our basic clippings ready. I'm going to go into the graph. Ooh, love it, love it, love it. So now it's already. Oh, this is so cool. This is a time lapse. We're just showing how we have added a lot of different stuff. So what I am going to do is I'm going to create travel to Chile folder. Then I'm going to move all these clippings in there. Okay, new folder with selection, Chile. Love that. Now I just want to move this into here. So my clippings are now empty, but I have all my web clippings in Chile and travel to Chile. So I'm going to call this, I'm actually going to rename this to Chile raw sources. All right, so we have this saved. And I'm going to go ahead now in the graph and spend some time mapping everything. So I'm going to close this. I want the graph to be bigger. And let's go ahead and connect everything, right? So, no, don't want this. Where's my graph? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new base, which is Chile travel. Lovely. Now I'm going to go back to graph. Where's my Chile base? There we go. This is the travel base. And I want to connect everything to it. So okay, do you all know how do we create new links? This is fun. I want to remove this from my graph. Mm, cool. Okay. Weird, 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 weird. Let me just share my obsidian and see if it works. Okay, y'all, for some reason my obsidian is hanging up. So it's not working.